Hello Kaiju fans, welcome back to the Kaiju World Order. I am MM, and today I want to talk about something I feel is kind of important to talk about, and that is dubs. And when I mean dubs, I mean the actual dubs of Godzilla movies, Gamera movies, Ultraman, whatever. Growing up with Godzilla, the dubs are what made me into a Godzilla fan. Growing up as a kid, I watched Godzilla movies dubbed. I became a fan because they were all dubbed. If I had to listen to the movies in Japanese and read them as a kid, I am sure I would have either not paid attention, and I definitely wouldn't be as big of a Godzilla fan as I am today. And it's really disheartening now to see in this new era, this great new golden age of kaiju we are in, that the dubs seem to be getting lost. And I don't just mean ones like Godzilla 1985 and Variant the Unbelievable with added Americanized footage. I mean actual dubs of the Japanese movies, like say Mothra vs. Godzilla and Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. And it brings us to Godzilla vs. Biollante now. I didn't get the new Criterion Blu-ray yet. I'm still not sure if I'm going to get it, or if I'm going to try and track down the previous Blu-ray, because the previous Blu-ray has the goddamn dub. Biollante is one of my favorite Godzilla movies. It was, I think it was actually my first Heisei movie. And it holds a very special place in my heart. The dub also. It has some very unique lines in it. And Criterion, again, did not include the dub in their new Blu-ray. Now, this could be from Toho. When the previous Showa set came out and some people were salty about it, we were informed that it was Toho that was pulling the strings on why only some of the movies had dubs and why the others didn't. Some people thought it was because, well, Kraken Releasing had recently done Blu-rays of Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. Hedra, and Sea Monster, and they had the dubs. But then why wouldn't the Criterion set include the Mothra vs. Godzilla dub? There's a lot of stuff here that does not make sense with the dubs, and it seems like they might be getting lost, and it sucks. For example, when the Sony Blu-rays came out, I didn't get them right away because I had the DVDs and I was on much more of a budget at the time. And only until about 2 years ago, I went through and updated all of my Godzilla DVDs into Blu-rays until I found out this one is long out of print, which means it's about $150 to $200 now, and I am not paying that for Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla vs. Mothra. I'm sorry, those movies are not worth it, dubbed or not dubbed. And I'm worried that whoever gets the rights to the rest of the Heisei era, be it Criterion or Arrow or whoever, one way or another, they're not going to have the dubs. And I think it's ridiculous. If you are a Godzilla fan and you're trying to get new Godzilla fans, you're trying to branch out, you're trying to watch them with your kids, anything like that, a kid isn't going to sit there, and I'm talking about like a toddler, isn't going to sit there and watch a movie like Godzilla vs. Gigan, subtitled. I have seen every argument in the book detailing why Godzilla fans shouldn't support dubs, or how the dubs don't reflect the artistic vision of the movie makers. And that's true 100% to an extent. Godzilla 54, for example, yeah, watch it subtitled. It's a great movie. But then you have the American version, which, is it as good? No. But I can easily make an argument that King of the Monsters is why Godzilla is so popular and why it became popular. Not because of the 1954 movie, but because of the 1956 movie that introduced Godzilla to the American audience. Godzilla didn't really pick up until King Kong vs. Godzilla. And the reason they used Godzilla is because Godzilla was the most popular of the original monsters Toho did. Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra. There's a reason it's not Rodan versus King Kong. There's a reason why King Kong and Rodan aren't the stars of the Monsterverse, and it's Godzilla. And it goes back to 1956 with King of the Monsters. And now, all these other dubs and Americanized versions of movies are starting to get lost or not supported. I'm seeing stupid ass shit on YouTube of people saying Godzilla 1985 is a banned movie. Godzilla 1985 is not banned. It's not even lost. You can find it. It's not that hard. Up through the 90s, before DVDs, Godzilla 1985 was one of the most common VHSs you could find in a movie store. Now you can't find it for shit, and it's all because of the soundtrack, because the American version, shares some audio clips with another movie, which I believe is called DEFCON 3 or something like that. This is a really stupid reason why this movie hasn't been released, and I get it, it's a licensing issue. But in 2025, after we have seen stuff like Disney working with Fox in order to use certain X-Men characters in the MCU, we have seen companies work together in video games for crossovers. It's a phone call or two, maybe 3 or 4, to get the right people who know what's going on. If Toho says the owners of the DEFCON movie have to sign off on it, like, why is no company just calling that company up and actually working on it? Why is Variant the Unbelievable, the American version of that movie, has vanished almost? I have a VHS of it from the 90s. It's not even on YouTube. And why? I don't know. Is it Toho holding it back, or is it because of other licensing issues? I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. I mean, we're talking about a billion-dollar company, one way or another. There's other reasons why Godzilla fans should check out dubs, and not just dubs, but the American versions. Gigantus the Fire Monster, for example, or the American version of Godzilla Raids Again, has star power, American star power behind it. From George Takei, who of course plays Sulu in Star Trek. And then you also have, the name is escaping me right now, but he voices Yogi, the original Yogi Bear, voices Kobayashi in Godzilla Raids Again, or Gigantus the Fire Monster, the American version. All this stuff is not in the Criterion set. Why? I don't know. There's interviews with George Takei as he's talking about how he did dub rolls in Rodan and in Godzilla Raids Again. There's certain lines in the dubs that have become iconic that aren't in the most recent releases of these movies. For example, the hippie in Godzilla vs. Gigan, after putting the corn cob to a guy's back, straight up says he must have thought it was a gun. That stupid line was popular for a long time in the fandom, and now that line wasn't even in the Criterion collection. If you're one of those type that say, oh, yeah, you should just watch them subtitled anyway, you're missing the point of the creators. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna sit there and try and tell me that you watch Godzilla vs. Megalon or Godzilla's Revenge subtitled for some sort of artistic vision that these movies are actually good and have artistic merits to that level, there's something fucking wrong with you. Now, I'm not saying those movies are bad. They're not. At least not bad. They're fun, they're entertaining, and I love them, but they're not good. Most of the Godzilla movies are not good. They are just cheesy goofiness. And I love cheesy goofiness. It's one of the reasons why I'm such a big Godzilla fan. And it's just disheartening to see the dubs getting ignored. After growing up with them for so long, seeing people now trying to argue that, oh, well, the dubs don't preserve the artistic vision, and the Americanized versions are insults to the originals, and yada yada yada. And no, just shut up. Right? If you don't like the dubs, that's fine. You don't have to watch them. But I do think it's really, really sad to see the dubs getting ignored in big releases like the new Biollante from Criterion. Criterion's supposed to be some company that prides itself in doing the best preservation of movies possible. So why is there no dub? Alright? Where the fuck are my dubs? Alright?
Godzilla says you should like and subscribe.